Welcome back to Solar Impulse TV, live from the Mission Control Center in Monaco. Andre Borschberg and Solar Impulse are over halfway to Cairo. They took off from Sevilla International Airport yesterday. They're traveling 4,000 kilometers total, and there's still quite a ways to go, but things are going very well. And this is quite an important moment in the Solar Impulse journey. Every single morning we go through a point called Energy Neutral Morning. And actually, I maybe will turn to our guests to explain that. We've got two guests here. Peter, who's oh my goodness, I'm gonna get it wrong now. We said safety review board, but it's actually conceptual design.
Right.
Exactly, conceptual design, but has been with the project many years. And Jean-Luc, who is one of our air traffic controllers. Yves-André. Oh my goodness, I was having one of my moments. I clearly needed more rest.
It's early morning.
I need more rest. Yves-André, pardon me. Definitely not two people to confuse. They do two very different jobs here. But let me turn to you, Peter, first, and ask maybe to explain Energy Neutral Morning. And also, I guess you've been with the project for many years, and so you can also explain how important that point is in terms of when you were designing the airplane, that you kind of had to come up with. I mean, it must have been quite key to thinking about the design.
Yeah, I'm many years in the project, so from practically a few weeks after Andre and Bertrand met, I joined the team. And energy neutral, this point is really important because that's where you're aiming at, that you still have enough energy in your batteries and still enough altitude, because both are energy, potential energy or chemical energy in the batteries, so that energy neutral means the energy that you get from the sun, from direct radiation, is the energy you need to fly horizontal.
Yeah.
That's why it's neutral. From that point on, you can either continue horizontal and charge a bit the battery, increasing, or with increasing energy you start to climb.
Yeah.
And we just play with this in everyday flight. So this point is really, that's what it's all about.
Yes.
Get through the night and still are able to catch the next energy amount of the sun.
Catch enough sun and be able to fly through the next day. And this, for Andre, maybe could be his final one on the round-the-world mission, depending on how the rest of the day goes, I suppose. We're still waiting on whether it's going to be 48 or 72 hours. So, and Yves-André, pardon me. So I would just ask Peter about Energy Neutral, but I'm going to actually ask you, tell me a little bit about when you started with Solar Impulse and how you got involved with the project.
Well, it was Nick that called me if I was available to come to Solar Impulse. He was alone, and it was a little bit too much for him. And then the third ATC air traffic controller joined us later on, Martin. So I joined in 2012, the team of Solar Impulse. We were still in Payerne at that time.
Yeah. And I'm sure it's, to have a whole team of three, you need 3 air traffic controllers for a round-the-world mission, don't you?
Yes, especially when we work 24 hours a day, like it's actually we are doing. And about that, we have to deal with a lot of countries, a lot of coordinations, and for one guy it would be, or two guys, it would be maybe too much.
Yeah.
So it's good to split out, because actually, I had a lot to do with the arrival in Cairo, and it took me all my time. Almost.
I was going to ask, so we basically have traveled through the airspace of 7 different countries since we took off from Spain.
Yes. Some countries it was relatively easy, some others was a little bit more difficult, but it takes a lot of time to deal with each countries. Even if it's just to cross a country like Greece, it was 1.5 hours, but it was a lot of mails, a lot of meetings, just to pass that 1.5 airspace of Greece.
And that's because of commercial aviation, because of military operations. What are the biggest challenges?
Well, we are an experimental aircraft. That means we need for each country's permits, and we are very unknown aircraft. Aircraft usually fly at 400 knots. We are flying at 30 knots. That makes a huge difference. And we fly at the altitude of jet also. We fly very high.
Yeah.
So these makes things that maybe we scared them. We scare when we ask to come, And finally, with Visit, that it's relatively easy.
Yeah. And Peter, you were, as you said earlier, been involved since the very beginning and have seen this airplane go cover many miles at this point. Any concerns about the structure or how it's handling itself? And after all these miles, are you giving yourself sort of a pat on the shoulder, or are you still sort of waiting to celebrate?
Yeah, I think it's good to wait to celebrate. But what we can say is, compared to last year, the aircraft is really behaving very well. We did some improvements in the winter time, and this really makes it now. And what has to be sort of pointed out or lined out always, it's really a laboratory. I think it's not even an experimental aircraft.
Yeah.
It's really a laboratory aircraft. It's unique. It's one aircraft only.
Yeah.
It has a lot of features that were never sort of implemented in an aircraft before. And
very few airline companies or aviation companies involved in the design. I mean, it was sailing companies and chemical companies.
Yeah, we're a small team, but André and I, when we started the technical side of the project, we very quickly found out that companies used to build airplane that you can sell and make money on it are not really strong in the field we needed, really in extra lightweight structures, etc. So it's a difference if you do something that is tailored for special use, or if you build aircraft that you can sell and make money on it.
Yeah.
So this is a big difference.
Yeah. And gentlemen, I know this is was Andre's. He's finishing up his last round the world flight. Do you either of you have special memories of him and what his flights or him personally over the years?
I have a memory. No, I think I have something that always pops out in my mind. If you discuss with André things that even seem impossible, he always says, "Let's discuss." So that means everything is open. I'm in good spirit, and we will find a solution. So I think this is unique for me. Sometimes we make jokes and say, "What will André say?" If we discuss something and says, "Yeah," he will say, "Let's discuss." So that means everything is open. We will find a solution.
Yes, it is true that he's pushing a lot.
Yeah. He's always sort of looking for. If you tell him it's not going to work, he'll say, "Well, can we make it work?"
He's somebody that he has no problems, only solutions. And we have to find the solutions very often.
Yeah, that's true. There's lots of running around on the ground.
And one other thing that really is for me was astonishing when we had the failure of the second aircraft, the spar of the second aircraft, when we were testing it.
And this was back when Solar Impulse 1 ended up flying across the United States.
Right. Parallel, we were designing and building the second aircraft, and the normal process was to make a quality test. It was not a failure test. It was really a quality test going up to let's say, limits in operational limits. And we had this failure. The spar failed, and everybody else, I thought, would shout at people and say, "Why did you do this mistake?" Because it was a mistake. And he said, "Okay, so let's see what comes out. Let's discuss. Let's continue." So he was really focused on going on. And for me, this was really a character part of André that I really admire a lot. You know, he never was sort of blaming somebody. He was really having the track ahead in his mind and said, "Let's continue. Let's discuss. Let's see what comes out." So this is really, it's great.
Yeah, so a moment of leadership, being very proactive.
Yeah, and I think it's motivation for people, because everybody was really depressed at that point, because it's a failure. You couldn't succeed. And he said, "Yeah, can happen, so let's go on."
Yeah, well, sign of a successful entrepreneur, I guess, and a successful pilot. Excellent, gentlemen. I should let you both get back to work or sleep or breakfast, one of the three. And thank you very much. We are going to actually now show you a best of the Atlantic, so some of the highlights of our big oceanic crossing that we just completed last month. Oh, never mind, we don't actually have it. So we are actually going to turn to Vincent, who's the head of our digital team, who is just sneaking around. And yes, thank you very much, and I'll see you guys later. Thanks. You can pass the baton. There we go. Yeah, set it there. Perfect. Merci.
Welcome.
All right. Well, we've got a bit of it's not necessarily news because I think if you've been on the website and looking around, you may know about it. But tell us about what could happen if you are a lucky fan of Solar Impulse in Abu Dhabi.
Hi, Carrie.
Yes, I should say first. This is Vincent. He's the head of digital.
No, yeah. If you are like the lucky winner that we are going to select, you will fly with someone. It's up to you to decide who, to Abu Dhabi. That's what we've been discussing with our partner Masdar. And they're really offering us this ability to invite someone to be a guest with like people that will be on the runway and to watch the landing of Bertrand Piccard in Abu Dhabi.
Oh my goodness, you could be there for the making of history then, I guess is the pitch.
Yeah, exactly. We'll be with the team, we'll be with everyone. I guess half of the team will be crying, so it's going to be like
quite emotional, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. No, not in pain. A nice moment. So yeah, it's going to be an amazing moment. And Masdar has been preparing also a sort of trip to like discover like the city, to discover like all the programs. So it's going to be like something really interesting.
Yeah.
To attend.
And maybe give me a rundown of how, if you want to get in the running to win this, how do you do that?
Quite easy. We developed a page which is solarimpulse.com/win-trip Abu Dhabi.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I know. It's easy for me, but you can find it like on our website, on the live page where you can follow the flight of André.
Yep.
You can find it easily like on
solarimpulse.com. Yeah.
Exactly, and all our social media channels,
Yep.
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, we're talking about it. And here you click, you arrive on a specific page, and you just have to give your email. And this allows us after to reach you and say, hey, you are the lucky one.
Excellent. Well, that was good. And what about people that have already signed up with Solar Impulse or on our...
They are already included into the competition. Our goal is really to offer it to like everyone who has been watching like this round roll preparation, and even before, because we have people following us since like 4, 5, 6 years. So those people are also more than welcome.
So the other thing about this is you have to be, I guess, a little bit flexible because we still don't necessarily know the date, right?
Exactly. Well, this is typical Solar Impulse. We don't know, we're weather dependent, so we don't know when you will be invited at some point in the coming days.
But I should say we have, on our last flight, I don't know if you met him, but on our last flight to Sevilla, we had a father who had come he'd flown 20 hours from somewhere with I'm forgetting where it was, but with his son to...
I think it was Mali, Bamako.
Yes, it was Bamako. That's exactly right. And he'd flown all that way, and it had taken 20 hours because I think they had to sit in Frankfurt or some hub at some point or another. But yeah, he and his son were there, and they felt it was sort of this moment to witness history. So I think they had a good time meeting the team. They ended up getting quite they're very involved.
Excellent time. He discussed with the pilot, so it was not really a nice moment for everyone.
So an incentive, I don't know, maybe if he's watching, you can send us a tweet or something and encourage other people to do that. So the other thing we should mention is if we do a photo shooting of the pyramids, which is maybe we should be encouraging people to take some photos and share them as well.
Exactly, and the way we do that is always easy. That's why I have my patch to always remember it. Now it's to use the hashtag #FuturisClean, because for us it allows to get the picture, because when not on the ground, so people can easily spot the aircraft when he's flying low altitude. So if they see it, they snap it. Well, Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, publish it, or even a video on YouTube, where whatever they want. And then we can find them using the hashtag #FuturisClean. And this is also a good way for us to know who has been following us, and to discuss with those people, answer a lot of questions. We have like a whole team here who is dedicated like to really explain what's going on and to answer questions and to make sure that those flights are being like covered.
Yeah, no, that's going to be fantastic. So that flyover should happen at 6 a.m. local time. So if you are in the Cairo area near the pyramids, or if you are a tourist planning a trip to the pyramids tomorrow morning, then look up at around 6 a.m. And then the landing for Solar Impulse 2 and André should be around 7:30. Again, this is assuming that the flight is actually completed tomorrow morning. It may not be if the weather's not quite good enough. We might have to do an additional 24 hours. But I think we're still going to do some of that photo shooting and then Anyway, we'll keep you posted on the photo shooting.
being discussed.
I'm asking the wrong person here. He's an expert on all things digital, but maybe not the expert on
flyovers.
on flyovers, exactly. So, but thank you very much, Vincent.
Pleasure.
Do we have a best of? I'm not sure if we do. Oh, we do. We do have a best of. So I'm going to leave you with the best of the Atlantic.
I love the little symbolic moments. And I think it's time to put the badge of the Atlantic. It's your flight, as much as mine. Maybe we keep this only for 4 days, but I tell you, it might be the longest 4 days of my life. Let's go for the Atlantic, my friends.
Bertrand, hi, it's Albert. Happy to be back at the MCC for this very special and very important moment. So, Bertrand, you are released to proceed. Continue with Tower for clearance and have a fantastic flight.
Thank you so much, Albert, and thank you for your friendship and your loyalty to the project. I carry with pride the logo of your foundation on the fuselage of Solar Impulse. JFK Tower, good morning, Hotel Bravo, Sierra India Bravo, runway 13, ready for departure.
Runway 13 right, cleared for takeoff.
We leave America.
Coucou chérie.
Je me disais tout à l'heure, quand je pensais à ça, je disais c'est vraiment notre vol, c'est pas seulement le mien.
Oui, alors ça c'est vrai que c'est notre aventure à tous les deux. Hein. On l'a commencé tout simplement, pas à pas, et en imaginant chaque chose. Et on n'aurait jamais projeté que ça prendrait une importance aussi grande. Mais voilà, c'est là. Et puis ce qui est magnifique, c'est de sentir cette équipe qui est là derrière toi pour assurer que ce vol se fasse. C'est tout aussi émouvant que de te sentir heureux là-haut, je trouve.
Ouais, c'est extraordinaire.
For me, it's a great moment to see Bertrand doing the Atlantic crossing. I think it represents more than just the flight. It should be a turning point for clean technologies, like it has been a turning point for aviation when Charles Lindbergh did it in 1927.
Hi Bertrand, it's Richard. How are you?
Well, it's a feeling that you know because you have personally made also this type of adventures.
Hello Bertrand, good afternoon. It's great to have the possibility to talk to you in such a high altitude and being so far from us.
Thank you, Maros. It's an incredible moment to be able to speak to you and the European Commission from Solar Impulse, because what is happening today
The Atlantic has always been this symbol of going from the old world to the new world. But what has changed is that the old world and the new world are not geographic continents anymore. No, they are state of mind. The old state of mind is what we have to leave behind. It's the world of pollution, of depletion of natural resources and old devices that cause the climate change and the CO2 problem that we know.
Good morning, Sevilla!
The new world is the world of modern clean technologies, the world of respect for the environment, the world of innovation. This is the world that Solar Impulse and its team would like to represent, would like to promote. What I deeply hope to make this flight from New York to Sevilla meaningful is that you can also be the ambassadors of this new world, this new state of mind, this new way to see the future, because the future is clean and it starts now. Thank you.